I don't know what's worse, being the villain in someone else's story, or realizing you become the villain in your own. No matter how many times I replay in my mind, the story always starts the same. Ethan's eyes, the way they looked at me like I was the most precious thing he'd ever held. There was no doubt, no calculation, just pure love. Raw, unconditional love. And I took that love and set it on fire. We met in college. Ethan was a year ahead of me, studying architecture, always surrounded by models, sketches, and foam board residue dusting his hair. I was psychology major, obsessed with analyzing people, but Ethan, he was an anomaly. I couldn't figure him out. All I could do was admire him. He was quiet, grounded, and patient. Everything about him spoke safety, and I didn't realize just how much I needed safe until he gave it to me. My childhood had been chaos. Parents who screamed love and hatred in equal measure, trust that came and went like the weather. But Ethan never raised his voice. Not once did he make me feel small. If he saw my scars, he didn't flinch. He just loved me harder. 2 years after we started dating, we moved in together. Ethan would leave little notes around the house. "You're magic," written on the bathroom mirror. "Don't forget you're enough," tucked inside my laptop sleeve. His love didn't shout, it whispered, gently reminding me over and over until, slowly, even my broken heart started to believe it. So what went wrong? I can't justify what I did, but maybe if I explain how the cracks formed, you'll understand how I slipped through them. It started with a guy named Theo. He joined our company as a freelance consultant for a major marketing campaign. Charming, sharp-witted, and dangerously attentive. The kind of man who noticed your shoes, remembered your coffee order, and complimented you just enough to stir something deep inside. At first, I didn't think much of it. I even told Ethan about him, the campaign, how Theo was brilliant but exhausting. Ethan listened like he always did, never jealous, never suspicious. But the stress piled up. We worked long hours, and Theo made those nights feel lighter. He made me laugh. He made me feel seen in a way that thrilled me. And instead of comforting me, like Ethan always did, Theo made me feel alive. One night, after wrapping up a client pitch, he walked me to my car. It was raining. Cliché, right? He opened the door, looked at me, and said, "You don't even realize what kind of storm you are, do you?" Before I could process it, he kissed me. I pulled away, told him I had a boyfriend. He apologized, said it was a mistake, but the damage was already done. Not from the kiss, but from what sparked inside me when it happened. I should have told Ethan that night. I should have cut Theo out or asked to be reassigned. But I didn't. Instead, I went home, kissed my boyfriend, and cried in the shower. For weeks. Theo acted like nothing had happened, and somehow that made it worse. He gave me space, which let my mind wander right back to him. Ethan, in the meantime, was planning a weekend getaway for us. He was talking about proposing. He didn't say it outright, but I could feel it, and instead of joy, I felt trapped. I kept telling myself it was just confusion, that it would pass, that I loved Ethan because I did, but then it happened. We were out of town for a conference, and one night, after too many drinks and too little willpower, I ended up in Theo's hotel room. There's no romantic way to say it. It wasn't love. It wasn't even lust. It was recklessness, emptiness I tried to fill with the wrong person. The guilt hit me before I even made it back to my room. I stared at the ceiling, imagining Ethan's face, his soft, trusting eyes. I wanted to go home. I wanted to erase the night. I thought it was a one-time thing that I could bury, but secrets rot, and mine did, slowly, then all at once. I became distant. I snapped at Ethan over little things. I slept facing the other way. He noticed, of course. He asked me if I was okay, asked if there was someone else. I lied. It dragged on for another month until one morning when he made blueberry pancakes, my favorite. I sat there across from him, knowing I didn't deserve a single bite. He looked up, his eyes searching mine, and said, "I don't know who you're trying to protect by pretending everything's fine, but you're not protecting us." That was the moment I broke. I told him everything, every last detail. I watched his face fall, piece by piece, like a building I had personally demolished. He didn't scream. He didn't leave. He sat there, silent, until I couldn't take it anymore and left the room. He slept on the couch that night. And the next. And the next. I kept waiting for the explosion. But Ethan doesn't explode. He erodes. One night, he came into the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. I thought maybe he was ready to forgive me. I reached for his hand. "I love you," I whispered. He looked at me, his voice low and steady. "More than I've ever loved anyone. That's why I'm leaving." It felt like the air had been pulled from the room. I thought I could stay, that maybe love would be enough to fix this. But love doesn't mean staying somewhere you're no longer safe. I begged. I cried. I asked him to go to therapy with me, but his mind was made up. He left the next morning. It's been 7 months since that day. He's still in the city, I know, because I see his architecture firm's projects on local blogs. I sometimes walk by his favorite cafe, hoping to see him. Once I did. He was with someone, a woman with curly hair and a smile that reached her eyes. He didn't see me. Or maybe he did, and just didn't care to acknowledge me. I wish I could tell you I've moved on, that I've learned my lesson and become a better person. The truth is, I'm still learning. I'm in therapy now, unraveling the knots inside me that made me sabotage the best thing I ever had. I don't blame Ethan for leaving. I blame myself for taking something pure and staining it so carelessly. He loved me unconditionally, and I betrayed that love. I just hope one day he finds someone who holds it gently. Someone who doesn't run toward the storm, but chooses to stay in the calm with him. As for me, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to become the person he thought I was.